Ready to go? The meeting will come to order. Council agenda, Township Parsippany-Troy Hills, Township Council agenda meeting of July 5th, 2016. The time is approximately 7:33 p.m.
Posting of notice. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Law by filing the notice in the office of the Township Clerk and by posting the meeting notice on the bulletin board of the Municipal Building on December 17, 2015, where it has remained posted since that date. A legal notice appeared in the Daily Record on December 22, 2015, and the Newark Star Ledger on December 24, 2015, and it was forwarded by fax to local newspapers and local radio stations on December 17, 2015. Note, council meetings are videotaped and aired on Cablevision, Public Access Channel 21 at 11 o'clock a.m. on Sundays, and are also available for viewing at www.parsippany.net.
We can stand for the flag salute. Councilman Creepy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lid roll call.
Mr. Carriffy?
Here.
Mr. DePiero?
Here.
Ms. Grignani?
Present.
Mr. Peluso?
Present.
Mr. Valori?
Here.
Also in attendance are the Mayor, James Barbario, Business Administrator, Alan Sandman, CFO, Ann Cucci, the Municipal Attorney, John Inglesino, and the Town Clerk, Colette Madden. Mr. President, we have a quorum. You may begin.
Thank you. The upcoming meetings will be on July 19th, 2016. That will be the regular meeting. That will be at 7:30 p.m. The next one beyond that is August 2nd, 2016. That'll be at 7:30 p.m., and that will be the agenda meeting. Do we have any minutes that need to be approved?
No, minutes will be placed on your next agenda.
Great. Any other information to be put out from any of the members up here? No? Okay. Presentations, reports, Mayor?
I have nothing at this time.
Thank you. Business Administrator, Ellen?
No, I'll just wait for the appropriate time during the meeting just to mention one or two things.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Township Attorney, John?
All of my reports are for closed session.
Great, thank you. The CFO?
Not at the appropriate time.
Great, thank you. And anything else with the Township Clerk?
No report, Mr. President.
Great. Any committee reports to give out tonight to the public here, council members?
I've not really a committee report, but I just like to recognize one of our high school football players from Parsippany Hills. He was on the state championship. Matter of fact, we recognized him a couple years ago. Dylan McDonald was chosen to play to represent the United States football team and go to China and play an 8-team tournament. So he's going to be a senior next year at Parsippany Hills.
Oh, wonderful.
So just want to congratulate him.
He's a good kid.
Great news.
Big achievement.
Great, thank you. Thank you. Mr. Creefy, the engineering report?
Manor Lake Dam, our design professionals are responding to comments from the NJDEP and look to resubmit by the end of the month. No council action required. FEMA Hazard Mitigation Grant Project, elevation work on phases 4, 5, and 6 is continuing. We look to close on 2 properties in the next month and are working on acquiring an additional property. No council action required. Whippany River Disnagging Grant. This project is substantially complete and only minor cleanup items still remain. No council action required. Lower Rockaway River Disnagging Grant. Contracts for this project are being signed and we anticipate starting the debris removal this month. No council action required. Wood Hollow Properties LLC Performance Guarantee Release, Block 736.01, Lot 4. The developer completed all site work in accordance with the approved plans. Inspections were made during the course of construction, and this office has no objection to the release of the performance guarantee. A resolution will need to be adopted by the Township Council.
That resolution is going to be under the non-consent agenda number 3. That's the resolution you guys will be adopting today.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bids to be taken, June 29, 2016. That was the road resurfacing program. To be taken, July 6, 2016, electrical testing at wastewater treatment plant. July 17, 2016, Vale Road stream and stabilization and roadway improvements. Nothing for quotations and proposals.
Council President, I just want to, I'm going to pass this down. one of the things that, when we work together as a team, in interaction with the Michael Hardy, our QPA, in this Vale Road, there's a substantial monies that are going to be put towards the maintaining of the earth and working with the stabilization of that. I just want to pass down, it's a very intricate, and they're called steel sheet piles, and what it does is it provides for maintaining the soil on one side, but letting the water go through.
Okay.
But you'll see the intricacies of these, but so that what I'm saying or drawing your attention to is that Mike Hardy wanted to get more information as to what actually was combined in this bid, and you'll find it to be quite interesting and quite a substantial. That's where the funding, really is maintained in those numbers for the stabilization project. So I'll pass that down.
All right, thank you, Ellen. Mr. Creevy? Closed session.
Closed session resolution, whereas the Open Publics Meeting Act, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances. And whereas the Township Council is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, and whereas the Township Council wishes to discuss litigation matters, and whereas minutes will be kept, and once the matter involving the confidentiality of the above no longer requires confidentiality, the minutes can be made public. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills that the public be excluded from this meeting. Motion to go into closed session by myself.
Let me just read off the cases that we had.
Okay, great.
We'll be discussing 2889 Route 10 v. Parsippany, Vale Manor et al. V. Parsippany, in-ray application of 700 Mountain Way, in the application of the Islamic Center of Lake Hiawatha, Morris Township v. Parsippany, Wildlife Preserves v. Parsippany, the COA litigation, Fair Share Housing v. Parsippany, which is different than the COA litigation, and the Parsippany v. Godfrey Home Improvement.
That's all? We have a lot going on there. Okay. Will be a while in closed session.
Who seconded the
Motion by
motion?
myself.
Second, Grignani.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Karifi, second by Mr. Grignani. Roll call?
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Make a motion to reconvene.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Karifi, second by Mr. Puso. Roll call?
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
And Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Okay, we're back in session.
Great. For the public hearing portion, I'd like to entertain a motion to open up the public hearing.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Karifi, second by Mr. Paluso. Roll call?
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
And Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Okay, the floor is open.
Anyone from the public like to come forward? You have 5 minutes. Just come up here and sign in and state your name.
The gentleman left who came here to thank us
Yeah.
What do you want to think?
for removing
Removing
a
that
tree
tree.
from his
Oh, yeah,
property,
yeah.
Please sign in, yes.
Yeah, if you could sign in, yes, thank you.
Put the tree in another place.
where I suggested.
Yes, we did. My father
Thank you,
got it
Mike.
to me, and he took it out and he put it back.
Lenny Diaz very happy he got that tree.
That's great.
Yeah, so it worked out. And we didn't touch the property after we took the tree out. What I wanted to make sure before this meeting.
Please,
That was the-
Yeah, if you could please state your name and your address.
Okay.
Thank you.
Rebecca Haleko. I'm
excuse
the
me,
owner.
Get a little closer to the microphone, because they can't hear in the back.
Oh, okay. Okay. My name is Rebecca Haleko. I live in Mountville, but I own a business in Parsippany, New Road, called SAT by MBA, and it was doing very well, the past 3 years.
Okay.
Recently, something happened, and I'm very, very upset, and I need your help because I make a phone call numerous times, and the email and mail was too busy to take care of to get back to me. Even though his secretary Shala say he is aware of that, but I did not have a response, not even a short email response. So I was advised by somebody say come over.
Okay.
I think all the 5 council members. I sent this last night midnight. I don't know whether you guys have time to reviewed it, but I did call Dr. Valari.
Yes, you spoke to me today, yes.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
hope you read it. Ms. Ellen Freeman, I also CC to you. I don't know. I have it. You have it. You did. You guys did. That's wonderful. Mr. Tony, whatever his name is very long. Okay. The behavior is unacceptable, and on the police report, I was shocked. He totally.
If you could use the microphone so I can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. My first time here.
It's okay, you're doing fine.
Yeah. He is totally twisted the fact. He is a coward. He did not. He has a gut to yell at me. I just met him, and at first, 30-second immediate yell at me without reason, and then now he twists the fact, say he was nice to me. His attitude is nothing but nice. I'm a business owner. I was approached by somebody grew up in this town and also work here. She is a long-term resident. She told me PAL has a lot of children go in and out. It would be great for my business. I can put my business card there. And she said, why don't I talk to the manager there? Maybe I can sponsor some event or donate some money, something in order to put my business card there. I did not know they have any academic program running. I have no knowledge until after this event. So I called Tony, left a message, no response. I sent email to him June 6, 15, no response. So I call again after a week. I call again, and I purposely left a message, no response. So a couple weeks ago, I happened to have a 1 hour break. I'm also very busy. I just stopped by there in person. There's a nice young man called Dan. He was there, but again, the person who are in charge, Ginny and Tony, they are not available. So I told him my purpose here, and he said maybe he think it's okay. I put my business card there and flyer there, but I was not prepared. I have only 2 pieces flyer, so I told Dan, how about I stop by tomorrow to promote? He said fine. So I left. Next day, 9 o'clock in the morning, I stopped by, and then finally, Gina and Tony was there, and I was happy. He said, I finally met you. I told Tony, I called you twice, 2-3 times. I left a message. I sent you email. He kind of like he didn't know. And then I told him I'd like to put my business card there. He's okay. And then he immediately say, I manage this building. Nobody tell me what to do. I just asked him, how can I put my business card there? If you need a fee, I'm going. As a business owner, there's a.
You have 2 minutes left. Keep going.
Right. So, but he just right in the first 30 seconds, immediately yelled at me, and I said, sir, could you talk to me like a gentleman? He didn't. Got upset, continued to say, nobody tell me how to run this business, how is it run the building. I did not tell you. I just want to know what's going on. How can I contribute? How can I put my business card there? That's it. And then I asked him, I was really upset. He yelled at me in front of his female, Gina, and a couple of girls in their office. And I said, could you talk to me like a human being? And then he said, get your stuff out of this building. I was correcting. I said, sir, you are not the president of this United States. Somebody must be on top of him. And I heard he report to Mr. Mayor Barberio, or whatever. Sorry. I don't know whether you are the person pointing him. This guy is not right in the position. He is unprofessional. He is act like a human being, an uneducated person. I'm in the education field. I teach kids. My business is doing very well, and I have no idea. I'm too busy. I have no intention to open the classes over there. I just want to know how can I put my business card there. You need money, I give to you. And what kind of attitude? And I happen to be a female minority, English with accent. And this is not my first time yelled somebody yelled at me from Norris Town.
Okay.
Okay, but this is the second time. But I want to address it. There are a lot of minority in this town. This kind of behavior is not acceptable. I request that he call me and write me, apologize to me. Mr. Mayor, any comment? You want to talk to me?
Are you done?
Yes.
You
Okay,
done?
yes.
Okay, your time's
All
up.
the documents here.
Okay, great.
I'd like to know
Okay.
what kind of action you can help me.
Well, this is up to the council if they want to address and ask you some questions. Any members here would like to?
You want me to try to?
Go ahead.
You want me to try to address?
Yeah.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, I forgot your name again.
Rebecca Haleko. I
Okay.
can give you my business card.
Okay. Can I call you Rebecca?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. my last name is Inglesino, and people call me John, because the last part of that couldn't be too hard. So, Rebecca, as I understand it, your beef, if you will, your complaint is with folks over at the PAL building, right? The PAL building is governed by the PAL, which is not the town. This group here, the council and the administration, they don't control what goes on at the PAL. As I understand it, the PAL has its own policies as to, permitting businesses to promote their businesses.
Okay, just let.
No,
let
so
the
forth and so
attorney
on.
keep speaking.
So first of all, I think we're all sorry that you had a bad experience with anyone, in town, whether part of the municipal government or, associated with the municipal government. But the fact is that this body does not, have control of that facility. And so it would be, the folks over there at the PAL that actually control the policy as to whether or not you can.
They do have a board of directors.
They have a board. Tony's boss, I guess, would be the board of directors.
Somebody told me it's reported to the mayor.
Well, mayors get credit for a lot of things.
Yeah, so if that's the truth, then you should just shoot me an email, let me know, and then I approach to different party, because I'm insistent. I cannot be yelled. The first time is not this time. I cannot be yelled like this all the time. But the rest of people.
Rebecca, you need to talk into the microphone.
I'm sorry.
I can't
Okay.
hear you in the back.
Oh, okay. Yep. Everybody's nice except the guy. He thought he's something. He say nobody teach me how. Nobody tell me how to run a business. Come on, I'm just here to want to give you cooperate, give you business, contribute something. You talk to me like a human being.
Who's the president of the PAL now?
Dr. Joseph Weisberg.
Dr. Weisberg is the president of the board of directors for the PAL.
Okay. The website has his name, contact info. If I go to PAL website.
I can give you that information.
What you would have to do, no, I can answer this.
Okay.
What you would have to do is you would have to contact the board of directors, which
Okay.
would be the president.
Yeah, good.
And then you would have to ask to most likely meet with the board of directors.
Mm-hmm.
And if they accept, then they'll meet with you. And, Tony would be present, and
Sure, that's great.
and then whatever they would decide, they would decide.
Yeah, and I would definitely want to stop at the building sometime when I have time, because he yelled at me. He said, "Take your stuff away. You're not allowed to come back to this building." Hey, it's public building, public domain. That's not his
Ma'am,
home.
What kind of business do you have?
Tutoring center. I can give you my business card. SAT by MBA. I was doing very well. I hire top tutor, PhD, Ivy League graduate, attorney, all kind of top grade. I don't care about the rate as long as they are good. That's my policy. I don't spend a lot of money on advertisement like Macenasia or Huntington. I spend money on my tutors.
I took the top off. This is the telephone number, and then I put she's the president of the board, Dr. Joseph Weisberg, okay?
Right.
So you have
Thank
the
you so much.
telephone number and fax.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, ma'am,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
If I may
Thank
just
you.
say one more thing.
Yes.
The board of directors, they have a policy on vendors. So that's one question you want
It's
to
fine.
ask. And,
Oh, I want to know.
and the fact of the matter is that, and I think Tony told you this, on how it works.
He twisted the fact. He told me in the first 30 seconds, he immediately say, "I manage a building. Nobody tell me how to do it." Something like that. I'm not a good actor,
All right,
okay?
so you know
All right, you know
what we'll do?
I was shocked.
Just-
I said, "Could you talk to me like a
Here's what
gentleman?"
we'll do is,
He
obviously,
I think he discriminated.
okay. What I just need you to do, because
Yeah.
we have other,
Excuse me, I have to.
I know.
comment.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
First of all, no. I know Tony. He does not discriminate. And
Okay, maybe
to
not.
make those comments publicly is not fair to him when he's
Okay,
not
I
here.
don't know him.
My point is this, and in all fairness,
Mm-hmm.
he's not anti-woman, he's not any of these types of things, if that's what you're
He
trying
just
to.
posted.
So, no, he runs the PAL, and he does a great job running the PAL, but to say he's discriminatory is not factual.
I don't know whether he did a
That's
great
it, that's
job.
all I'm gonna say.
what I
I
suggest,
sent email to him a week, no response. I left a message, no response.
Okay, ma'am.
I show up, but not there.
ma'am, I'm the council president. What I need you to
Okay.
do is,
Call
The
them.
business administrator gave the information.
Okay.
What you need to do is reach out to the individual.
Sure.
And then sit down with the
I will definitely do
chair
that.
of that and their directors, and then discuss that.
Okay,
All
thank
right?
you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public like to come forward?
Hi, Katie Cassidy, 7 Stephen Terrace. I'm going to sign in, but before you start my time, can I pass these out?
Great, yes. And what is it that you're passing out?
This is from the Township website. This is the here. From the Township website, this is the directory of boards and committees that is listed. Now, I came in March 15th. As the mayor pointed out, I came just after a meeting with him, and he said, you didn't really give me time to work on this. Okay, well, it's been over 100 days. It's been about 4 months now, and so I'm going to give you a little bit of a recap where we're at. The sheet that you're looking at is the list of boards and committees that is now on the website. If you notice, it still has Yancey's email address on it. The date in the bottom right-hand corner is January of 2011. This is extremely out of date. And then if you also note on the bottom, it says that if you want a complete listing of the currently appointed members for all of the boards and committees as well as their terms, that's going to be available at the town clerk's office. Okay, so this is directly from the Parsippany Township website. So as of now, the Knoll Country Club, the Zoning Board, the Planning Board, and the Recreational Advisory Committee are up to date on their own individual pages. The Municipal Alliance Committee and the Library Board are almost up to date, still have the old superintendent, and I'm a new member of the Municipal Alliance Committee, and I'm not quite on there yet. Now, the Community Dispute Resolution Committee is not even listed on this directory, but it is on the general website page. And there's no date on the list for them. The Economic Development Committee list is also undated. Then you've got Environmental Advisory, Traffic Advisory Committees are from 2014, and the Historical Preservation Advisory Committee is from 2013. So particularly out of date. So today I'd like to ask you guys for an estimate of how long it will take to get this completed. You're offering this to the public. I've opened a request for it. It is not available. So given that you've had 4 months, approximately, we'll say 100 days, conservatively, since March 15th to get this done, I'm wondering, will you be able to get it done by the end of August? Can I get a time frame on that? I'd also like a time frame on when you'll be able to post the meeting dates for the committees on the website so that the public can go to these open to the public meetings and be aware of when they are. And then I'd also, putting that to bed moving on to something else, I did want to know if there was anything that you could tell me on, I know you were in session about it, on Resolution 2016-131 with the rather vague settlement agreement and the long list of people that you're
2 minutes left.
settling agreement on.
Okay.
And I think that's pretty much it
Are you
for
doing all
today.
your questions?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
The settlement agreement's being pulled.
Sweet.
Katie, in reference to your committee question, the council does not have control over the website of the content being posted on that. I did provide a list to the township clerk many months ago with all the status of who is on what committee and when they meet. So my expectation was to address it to the clerk to see what his results was when he tried to post it.
Well, looking at that list and reviewing that list, it's mostly up to date. We do need to update some more things on that list. I need to work with the mayor's office in updating the list so we could, because he has control of some of that as well as the council. So as long as we work together, we'll get it up to date. But I can't give you a time frame at this time until I discuss it with them further.
Can the administration give a time frame?
I'll give you a time frame.
Okay.
Okay. Not now, but I'll give you a time frame.
Why not now?
Okay.
Just
You
one
could very easily-
suggestion.
You could have very easily called my office with this, but
No.
you chose not to.
We spoke about it. I brought it up here.
All right.
Yes, we did. I sat in your
I-
office and we had a meeting on March
Okay.
10th.
Just, you asked the question, so now you just got to listen.
Yes.
But I will tell you is that we will do a follow-up with it, and what I would suggest is, I'm glad that you wrote down a list of the issues. If you could give that to the clerk, so
Sure.
he'll have a cheat sheet to follow by to make sure that we'll get that all caught up to.
Sure.
Okay?
Do you mind my...
If I may, real quick, though,
scrap
Council
paper?
President.
Okay.
I know we're throwing everything on the clerk, and that's not fair to the clerk. And I will handle, you and I will handle it from this point on. The clerk and I will handle it.
Okay.
Going forward. As I said, contact my office, Katie. Not go to the clerk's office. You can contact my office, because everything gets done out of that area. Okay? Now, we did speak about this way back when. You never gave me all the details. That's number one, Katie. You did not. I will work with you, clerk, so you don't take any heat going forward.
And I'll do a follow-up with you just to see how we're going with it. I know we're going to get you some more personnel in there also for other issues going on. But, okay. That it?
Thank
So I
you.
would make note that you need to be on here. We have the old clerk listed on this sheet.
Yeah, we got.
All right, thank you. Anybody else from the public like to come forward?
No problem. You got it.
All right. I'd like to entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Karifi, second by Mr. Puso. Roll call.
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, ordinances of adopted ordinances. Ordinance number 2016:13. You can review that. That was adopted on June 21st, 2016. Mayoral action on the 23rd of June. Effective date will be this July 13th, 2016. Mr. DePiero.
2016:14.
Outstanding.
An ordinance of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills in the County of Morris, New Jersey, establishing a self-insurance plan and fund for employee health benefits and creating a board of fund commissioners as required by law. The notice for the ordinance above was published in the Daily Record, the official newspaper of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills on June 16th, 2016. This ordinance was carried from the June 9th, 2016 agenda meeting. Motion to accept that ordinance.
Second, Grignani.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, second by Mrs. Grignani. Roll call.
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
No.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. DePiero, keep going. Public hearing portion.
Motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, second by Mr. Karifi. Roll call.
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes. Anybody from the public like to come forward? I see no one like to come
Motion to
forward.
close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, second by Mr. Karifi. Roll call.
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Whereas the above ordinance was read in title on second reading and the hearing held thereon, now therefore be it resolved that said ordinance be passed on final reading, and that a notice of final passage of said ordinance be published in the newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, second by Mr. Karifi. Roll call.
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
No.
And Mr. Valori?
Yes.
4-1, the motion passes.
Ordinance number 2016:15. Calendar year 2016 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a capped bank. NJSA 40A:4-45.14. The notice of the ordinance above was published in the Daily Record, the official newspaper of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, on June 16, 2016. This ordinance was carried from the June 9, 2016 agenda meeting. Motion to accept that ordinance 2016-15 be heard in its second and final reading by the title only.
Second.
Motion made by Mrs. Grignani, second by Mr. DePiero. Roll call.
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
No.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Motion open to the public hearing for ordinance 2016:15.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Grignani, second by Mr. Karifi. Roll call.
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes. Anybody from the public like to come forward? I see no one that's going to come forward.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Grignani, second by Mr. Karifi. Roll call.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Whereas the above ordinance was read in title on second reading and a hearing held thereon. Now therefore be it resolved that said ordinance be passed on final reading and that a notice of final passage of said ordinance be published in the newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Grignani, second by Mr. DePiero. Roll call.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
I just want to say my reasoning for voting is that I will not raise taxes for our residents, and if you want to go over the 2% cap, go out for a referendum. I vote no.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-1.
All right. Ordinance number 2016:17. That's just for review. You take a look at it. 2016:18 is also for review. And ordinance number 2016:19 is for review. Okay, any questions, concerns? All right, Mr. Paluso?
Okay, ordinance number 2016:16, an
Can I-
ordinance of the township.
Excuse me.
Yes?
I'm sorry, I just want to talk about ordinance 1616 and 1617. I realize we already introduced.
Oh, okay.
Correction.
But
I'm
I
sorry,
just
Ann.
want-
That's 1620. So 1616 and 1620. It's not numbered here, but it will be 1620.
Okay. 1616 was already introduced. However, after the bond council reviewed the numbers, they decided that it would be best if we separated the $130,000 open space section of the capital ordinance to be separate because it's fully funded. So that's why we're reintroducing this ordinance that you did last time and also adding the $130,000.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, concerns? Okay, continue.
Ordinance number 2016:16, an ordinance of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills in the County of Morris, New Jersey, authorizing various capital improvements and purposes and appropriating $9,828,592, therefore including the appropriation of a grant in the amount of $245,000 from NJDOT and providing for the issuance of $9,104,412 in general improvement bonds or notes of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills to finance part of the cost thereof. Be it resolved that the above ordinance be introduced, read by title, and passed on first reading at a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills held on June 21st, 2016, and that said ordinance be further considered for second reading and final passage at a meeting to be held on July 19, 2016 at 7:30 p.m. prevailing time, or as soon thereafter as the matter has been reached at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with the notice of introduction thereof being published in the official newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Paluso, second by Mr. Karifi. Roll call.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
And Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Excuse me, I have to interrupt again.
Okay.
I believe that we have to change the date to be not the first reading. First reading is today, July 5th, not June 21st. Just to,
Which
for
one
the
was
next
that?
two. For this one,
Red, it has this has.
All right, so the correction's going to be for
yeah,
July. Okay.
and we have enough time according to bond
yes,
council.
yes.
Does that affect the date on the second one?
Yes, it is. It's going to affect that.
So
it's not.
when I read that, what am I putting down?
No.
It's not.
It's not. July 19th is when you can introduce it. You have enough time.
No, June 22nd, first.
No, he's saying the second date. He's saying is it going to affect the July
It's
19th?
the first date.
The next ordinance.
Next ordinance.
He's talking about the next ordinance.
next one, number 17,
Same thing.
next page.
So June 21st becomes what?
July 5th.
Oh, that's July 5th, too. I see what you're saying.
July
Okay.
5th.
Right.
That's on the other one.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. But July 19th stays the same in both.
Yes.
All right, so the one we just approved, that should be July 5th, you're saying?
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
'cause you can't go
And
back.
this one too.
This is all a test.
Yeah, and they're all doing well.
Okay, good.
Okay, 2016-17,
Yes.
Yes.
an ordinance of the township.
I'm sorry. It's 2016-20. I apologize. It's not 17.
20?
Yeah, it's going to be 20 because we had 17. This is 20.
Okay.
All right,
Right.
Okay.
okay.
right, we'll start again. 2016-20.
Yes.
An ordinance of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills in the County of Morris, New Jersey, appropriating $130,000 from the Open Space Trust Fund, Recreations of the Township for the acquisition and installation of playground equipment at Lake Parsippany Park within the Township. Be it resolved that the above ordinance be introduced, read by title, and passed on first reading at a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills held on July 5th, 2016, and that said ordinance be further considered for second reading and final passage at a meeting to be held on July 19th, 2016, at 7:30 p.m. prevailing time, or soon thereafter, as a matter may be reached at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with the notice of introduction thereof being published in official newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Second, Grignani.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, second by Mrs. Grignani. Roll call.
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, the next ordinance is for review. Okay. And.
May I talk about that again? I got a lot to say.
Yes.
That's what you said you were gonna do.
On the, this ordinance talking about the no country club fees, that's just a procedural update. Can you tell them
Yeah,
what
if I
that
could
is?
add to that, what's going on with this ordinance is you have the fee ordinance, and then you have what's called the compilation, which comes towards the back. And what we found out that the compilation did not match the actual fee. So all this is really is just updating those fees, and then at a later time, we'll discuss fees down the road. But all this is just updating the fees that are already in place.
Okay. Thank you. Great, thank you. Okay.
I have a question on the fourth one. You had established a board commission now for the benefits. This white-collar salary range indicates that the secretary of the board commission has a salary range that goes up to $66,000. I thought from discussions that there was not going to be a salary given to the secretary for the new commission that you had established. So that's a newly created position.
Yes, how about that,
What's the title?
Secretary Board Commission, maximum salary range $66,000.
That's plenty.
It's the
That's-
planning board.
That's for the planning board and the board of adjustments.
Okay, so that's the planning board. Can it also be misconstrued for the Board of Fund Commissioners?
No, it was not intended for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we're all clear on that?
Right.
Okay. All right.
So the
And then we're
non-
gonna go right to 2016-133?
yes, non-consent agenda items 1 and 2 are no action. So
Okay.
Resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills authorizing the release of performance guarantee for Wood Hollow Road, Block 736.01, Lot 4. Motion to approve.
Motion made by Mrs. Grignani, second by Mr. Carriffy. Roll call.
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, Mike,
Resolution 2016-134. Resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills regarding the certification of the annual audit. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Second, Grignani.
motion made by Mr. DePiero, second by Mrs. Grignani. Roll call.
Mr. Carriffy?
No, yeah, can I interrupt again?
We're pulling this one here?
Well, here's what,
All right, nobody can stop me.
this is just certifying that you read the part of the audit that has the recommendations and comments, and Mr. Paluso asked if we could pull it for Ray to come and give a presentation
For the township.
for the next council meeting on the 19th, which is fine.
We did that last year, right?
Yeah. So I think we should pull
Okay with
it.
that?
Yeah. We have plenty of time.
All right, I rescind my motion.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we're gonna pull that, Khalid?
It's going to be carried until the next
Carried. Okay.
the next meeting.
And then Cleo or the administration, you arrange for
Gonna recommend
Ray
it,
Serenelli
yes,
to come in?
yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Yeah.
So our township order will give us a presentation, and then we'll go to vote on that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Rob, your next one.
Next one, Resolution 2016-135, resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills authorizing award of a contract to Papco Industries LLC, 166 Freeland Highland Avenue, Newark, New Jersey, 07114 for paper leaf bags. Motion
Second.
to approve.
Motion made by Mr. Paluso, second by Mr. Krufi. Roll call.
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
yes,
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Resolution 2016-136, resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills authorizing award of a contract to John Garcia Construction Company, Incorporated, 183 Friar Lane, Clifton, New Jersey, 07013, for Edwards Road water main replacement. Motion made by myself.
Second,
Second.
Grignani.
Motion made by Mr. Krufi, second by Mrs. Grignani. Roll call.
Ms. Carriffy?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
yes,
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. The consent agenda, resolutions. Take a few moments to read over that. Any questions or concerns? Okay. Applications, none. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Paluso, second by Mr. Krufi. Roll call.
Ms. Carriffy?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
We're adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good evening.
Yes.
Hey, Lou,
Yes, sir.
shouldn't still have a